Medalist is back in action in a heroic comeback. Weightlifter Mirabai Chanu has struck gold. And also on the show, we'll tell you why the most polite-looking Sunil Shetty has lashed out at a fan at an event. And finally, the mystery behind Trump's bruised hands continues as more pictures emerge. All this and a lot more on Trending tonight with me, Rakshita. Himgiri and INS Udaygiri, two advanced stealth frigates, have been commissioned into the Indian Navy today, marking a significant milestone in the nation's indigenous warship construction capabilities. Now, these warships showcase India's growing prowess in designing and building complex naval platforms, enhancing the country's maritime security and reinforcing its role as a stabilizing power in the Indian Ocean. And viewers, the Indian Navy marked this big milestone in indigenous warship construction with the commissioning of these two advanced stealth frigates, INS Himgiri and INS Udaygiri.
Taller than the mighty Udaygiri and Himgiri. Both warships follow in the proud wake of legends. Their predecessors, the erstwhile Udaygiri and Himgiri, marked our transformation from a buyer's to a builder's navy. Both warships served the nation with distinction for over 3 decades. The new F-34 and F-35 are future-ready multi-mission stealth platforms designed to deal with both conventional and unconventional threats across our vast areas of interest. Integrated construction with extensive pre-outfitting has Himgiri, built by Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited, is the first stealth frigate constructed on the East Coast. Together, they will not only add firepower to the fleet, but also ignite the economy, with a significant plowback driving equitable growth and reinforcing self-reliance. Equipped with next-generation technologies, these platforms symbolize a strong and secure nation.
And viewers, this is of course itself cautioning our neighbors, but the Indian Navy chief, that is who is Admiral Dinesh Tripathi, he also sent out a very, very strong message today. He said that Operation Sindoor is very much on, and next time when required, it will be the Navy that will do the opening. That Navy is ready for war is the message being sent across. Listen in.
Uncertainties और कॉम्पिटिशन्स के भरे इस युग में भारतीय नौसेना की समुद्र में ओवरवेलमिंग फोर्स डिलीवर करने की क्षमता भारत के दुश्मनों के खिलाफ एक क्रेडिबल डेटरेंस है। हमने इसे ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान बखूबी प्रदर्शित किया, जब हमारी यूनिट्स की स्विफ्ट डिप्लॉयमेंट और एग्रेसिव पोस्चरिंग ने पाकिस्तान की नौसेना को एक तरह से कैद करके रखा और उन्हें मजबूर किया कि काइनेटिक एक्शंस को समाप्त करने का हमसे अनुरोध करें। सर, आपने कुछ दिनों पहले विक्रांत के डेक पर भारतीय नौसेना से कहा था कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है और अगली बार जरूरत पड़ी तो हो सकता है कि ओपनिंग हमारी नौसेना के द्वारा ही होगी।
Meanwhile, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was also in the commissioning ceremony. He presided the ceremony and he highlighted nation's growth and progress in designing and building complex warships.
जिस मेहनत और लगन के साथ आप लोगों ने INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी को तैयार किया है, वह अपने आप में इनक्रेडिबल है। जिस तरह से आपने इंडिजिनस डिजाइन को मैन्युफैक्चर करके यह स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट वारशिप तैयार किया है, वह काबिल तारीफ है। आपको और आपकी पूरी टीम को मैं अपनी तरफ से हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। आपकी टीम ने सिर्फ एक जहाज नहीं बनाया, बल्कि इनोवेशन और सेल्फ रिलायंस की एक आपने मिसाल कायम की है। आप सबको, खासकर INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी के सभी क्रू मेंबर्स, इसके मैकेनिस्ट और नेवी के ऑफिसर्स, हमारे साइंटिस्ट, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, सबको मैं बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। देवी और सज्जनों, जब ये दोनों वारशिप अपने मिशन पर निकलेंगी तो मेरी शुभकामना है कि वे ऑनर और प्राइड के साथ इंडियन नेवी को सर्व करें। समुद्र की लहरों के बीच इनके ऊपर हमारा तिरंगा गर्व से लहराए।
These Project 17A Nilgiri class frigates built by shipyards in Mumbai and Kolkata using modular construction showcase India's construction capability and focus on self-reliance.
Symbolizing this rising power is INS Udaygiri. She embodies both a future-ready force and a glorious legacy. F-35 came to rest. Her legacy did not.
And equipped with cutting-edge technology, including the BrahMos missile system, these frigates will boast about the EL-M2248 MF Star AESA radar that is advanced stealth technology and capable of simultaneous multi-target tracking and fire control. These ships also are anti-submarine warfare, which is capable of operating in the blue water environments. The ship also features electronic warfare packages, decoy systems and anti-torpedo systems, providing layered protection. They're also equipped with top-notch Barak 8 air defense systems and AESA radars. And viewers, to get you more on this, it also has more, of course, features, as we understand that there has been a focus on construction of these ships, these warships within the country. 70% of the components are made in India. They are armed with Barak 8 surface-to-air missiles and BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles and advanced close-in weapon systems. And the commissioning of INS Himgiri and Udaygiri only enhances the Navy's strike and air defense capabilities, reinforcing India's role as a stabilizing maritime power in the Indian Ocean. Now, viewers, these frigates will act as a strong deterrent to help counter China's growing influence in the Indian Ocean region, particularly in the region of Gwadar, Hambantota, Chittagong and Djibouti, under the String of Pearls policy, making India a rising maritime power and promoting the Make in India initiative. All right, viewers, we are interrupted by breaking news coming in right now. United States and Russian government officials have discussed several energy deals on the sidelines of negotiations this month that sought to achieve peace in Ukraine, according to 5 sources familiar with the talks. Now, viewers, with this, U.S. duplicity has been exposed. The U.S. has, remember, time and again raised India doing business, be it oil business, with Russia, and saying that it is India to be blamed for fueling the war in Ukraine, and US only wants the war to end. And that is why it will double down on the tariffs and put in penalties against India. But United States, on the other hand, is engaging in trade ties with Russia. And remember, viewers, this is exposed yet again. Why? Because remember Putin's statement. He had in fact spoken about how the trade has grown with US. It was Putin who actually exposed Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was just caught smiling and grinning over there. And now what we are getting to know is that the United States has targeted India and for dealing with Russia, for striking oil deals with Russia. But on the other hand, its own officials, Donald Trump's officials and Russian government officials have in fact discussed energy deals. So this is a double speak that has been clearly exposed. All right, we come back to our trending stories, viewers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a strong statement in support of small entrepreneurs and farmers ahead of the deadline for tariffs. Now, this comes just 2 days before Donald Trump's 50% tariffs on India take effect. And Prime Minister affirmed that irrespective of incoming pressure, India will bear it and keep increasing its strength without naming the US that has imposed 50% tariffs on India. Prime Minister pointed towards the politics driven by economic self-interest in the world.
मेरे देश के लघु उद्यमी हो, किसान हो, पशुपालक हो, हर किसी के लिए मैं आपको बार बार वादा करता हूं, मोदी के लिए आपके हित सर्वोपरि है.
And Trump not only hiked tariffs on Indian goods, viewers, but also imposed an additional 25% penalty over India's discounted Russian crude imports, worsening the bilateral ties. And Washington also claimed that India is indirectly financing Moscow's war in Ukraine through these purchases, a charge that New Delhi has strongly rejected. All right, viewers, for more on this, I'm being joined by market expert Ajay Bagga. Thank you so much, sir. Very good evening to you. And, we've seen that earlier too, just days ago, Prime Minister said that we won't budge, that, he is ready to even pay a personal price, come what may. Today, once again, as the deadline nears, he once again says that the priority remains the nation. Nation first, farmers first, small entrepreneurs, their interest remains first, sir. How do you see this panning out?
Yeah, I think India has really stood out. It's in a non-adversarial way, but in a very tough and firm way. India has stuck to its national interest, and that is being appreciated by the Indian population, and I'm sure as well in the diplomatic circle. So we have been very clear that what makes sense for India is what we will really offer. We have gone all the way in offering reducing tariffs. 5 rounds of discussions have happened. The US team was supposed to come here on August 26th, and last moment they cancelled it. And the way India is being, portrayed, especially by the Trump advisor Peter Navarro, who's basically a very outdated Cold War rhetoric, Cold War warrior, who has a worldview which is totally atavistic. And he said India is funding Russia's war. That is not true. If you look at the Russian trade, it has trade with US, EU. China has $170 billion of trade with Russia. So what are you talking about India funding Russia? I think that rhetoric has gone ahead of itself. And India has given a very tough, firm, understated, and very polite response.
And also, sir, how do you see the statement coming in for make for the world? That also is something that doesn't really go down well with the United States, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed your last question for about 5 seconds.
For the push make in India, sir, and also Prime Minister today also adding that India should make for the world. So that...
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have the capability to make for the world, and that was what was going on for the last 5 years, not only with us, but China Plus One was a stated policy of the US post-COVID, when China was weaponizing the supply chains, and the world realized that they need an alternative to China. You can't be 80%, 100% dependent on China for most goods. And China Plus One was being espoused. India was part of that supply chain diversification. But now India is being singled out. So India has the capability. We have the manpower, we have the demographics, we have the natural resources, and we have the technical skills and the enterprise. So we have a combination of a lot of things which can make us a factory to the world. Maybe not of the scale of China for the next couple of decades, but definitely we can emerge as a viable alternative to China.
Right, sir. Mr. Ajay Bagga, thank you so much for joining us on Republic TV once again. Viewers, now it's time to take a quick look at the stories that are trending and running hot on social media today. A few days ago, a video was going viral on the internet that offered a peek into the newly built mansion of Ranbir Kapoor and Alia Bhatt. This hasn't gone down well with the Kapoor family. Alia Bhatt has taken to social media to slam the person who shot the video and others for carrying on their respective platforms. She has penned a 2-page note expressing her anger and urging the media house to take down the video as she flagged security concerns and invasion of privacy. Turkey's Transport Minister Abdulkadir Uraloglu was slapped with a speeding ticket after posting a video of himself driving at 225 kilometers per hour on a highway, almost double the legal limit. Now, he shared the clip of his drive on the Ankara-Nigre highway, and the video quickly went viral, triggering a public outcry and questioned examples set by a top government official. Now, a bride in Delhi recently ignited a social media debate after she gave a 1-star Google review to a wedding photography company for requesting food during her high-end wedding, where the cost per guest was 6,000 rupees. The bride had approached We Don't Say Cheese to photograph her upcoming wedding, but things turned sour after the team requested access to food during the event. The bride described their request as quote-unquote unreasonable, saying that she had offered to arrange the meals from an outside vendor instead. In a heartwarming gesture, rapper Honey Singh was spotted feeding children near a metro station in Noida. Now, according to the viral post, the rapper was driving through Noida's electronic metro station in Sector 63. He noticed a group of children sitting outside an eatery near the station, following which he asked his driver to stop the car and feed the children. And in another viral video, personality coach Priya Warwick has displayed how eating pani puris with bare hands can be problematic at times. She then introduced the fork and spoon to lift the ball, as they're called water balls, breaks the ball into two using a spoon, eats it, and then consumes the spicy water. The video quickly drew attention, with several social media users slamming her for ruining pani puri for them. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off Maruti Suzuki's first battery electric vehicle, e-Vitara, at Hansalpur of Gujarat. The EV, made in India, will be exported to over 100 countries, signifying India's growing ambitions in green mobility and self-reliance. Star Indian weightlifter and Olympic medalist Mirabai Chanu struck gold at the Commonwealth Championships, delivering a record-breaking performance in the women's 48 kilograms category. The Tokyo Olympic silver medalist lifted a total of 193 kilograms, setting new Commonwealth Championship records in all three categories: snatch, clean and jerk, and overall total. A 17-year-old girl, Zhang Jiaoyan, has become the second Chinese student to perform the Arangetram, the traditional solo debut in Bharatnatyam, showcasing the rising appeal of the ancient Indian dance form among the youth of the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Suzuki Motor Corporation President Toshihiro Suzuki flagged off Suzuki's first global strategic battery electric vehicle, the e-Vitara, at the company's manufacturing plant in Ahmedabad. The recent travel-associated case of New World screwworm, a parasitic infestation caused by fly larvae, has been confirmed in Maryland resident who returned from El Salvador. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are investigating the case. US President Donald Trump had a noticeable bruise on the back of his right hand at the Oval Office on Monday. This came only days after a similar mark was seen on his left hand, leading to concerns that the 79-year-old has been dealing with a medical issue for months. Pictures taken at the White House on Monday with South Korean President Lee Jae-myung brought into focus Trump's hands and the visible marks on them. The White House, since the photos started making rounds, has maintained that Trump's hand bruises are just from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin. And just last month, when the photos went viral, this is what White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had to say.
Have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness.
And now similar bruises have been noticed on his hands several times in the recent weeks. Meanwhile, the internet viewers is just not buying this. Watch the reactions that have come in on social media that we are running it on your screens. All right, that's all we could pack in this edition of Trending. We'll be right back with the super prime time debate with Arnab Goswami.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे